ago, and do da 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 do. I forgot to hit the button, and away we go. Hey everybody, what's up? It's Kyle and KZ.
More people get their voice out there, then I think they'll realize like we're all the same, really.
KZ decided, let's do it. Took the bait, so here we
Veteran Chat Project.
where it's encouraged to not be okay all the time. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Kyle
And KZ.
and we are the Veteran Chat Project, and we missed you guys.
Brown.
Yeah, man. We are with our okay. Yeah, we are coming at you with our second edition, our second episode of the week, as promised. We had to do a little shape shifting as Billy Fallenus is currently dealing with the PCS, and for all those of you who have dealt with that, the move is not going as planned. So he will make it up to us, he promises, and we gave him
just fire.
Yeah. We just so we reached out and we said if anybody wanted to jump on the show and kind of just say what's up and do it again or anything. And old Justin Barton was like, let's go again. I said, you know what? It's been a long time. It's been a while. So so for those of you that don't remember, Justin was he was our first victim here on the Veteran Chat Project. So yeah, man, that was way back when, I guess, like a whole 3 months ago, when we sucked a little less and we knew a little less about what we were doing. So we're excited to have him back, and yeah, let's go ahead and put him out on the screen. Let's bring him out. Do we bring the applause out too?
What's up, dude?
There he is.
What's up, guys?
What's up, dude? How you been?
Been good, man. Life is life, dealing with it every day. But I am so pumped to see you guys killing it. You guys, from the first episode that we knocked out into what you guys have turned this into, the amount of episodes, the following, the stories that have come. Like, I remember when Rooster came out, I was like, let's go. Like, and then I was able to link you up with Kyle, and that was such a great story.
That was an awesome story for sure.
Yeah, the journey through this process has been pretty dope, and like you said, those stories. I think that's what I'm floored about the most is I hate to prop myself up here, but when I've always said hey, dude, you give veterans like a microphone, they're gonna want to talk
eventually,
and that's I feel like that's what's happened. Every person we've got on, they've been really easily sharing their story, and I fucking love that shit, dude. I love that shit.
Dude, I actually wanted to I thought of this earlier and it just popped back into my brain. So I actually wanted to start this episode with something a little lighthearted, and let's talk going away parties, dude. Let's talk when you were shipping off. Let's who's got a good going away party story? I know I got one. I might have told it to Boughton before, but I honestly I feel like every time I tell it, it's not believable.
Mine sucks. You go ahead.
And I can't tell who I did it with because he's still in the Army. So
ideal for that shit out real quick.
So let's
go ahead.
No, I want someone else to go.
I'll start with mine because I know mine's boring as shit. I didn't really have a going away party.
I'm same with this dude.
I didn't have a going away party. I just left, and my whole senior year was my going away party because everyone knew I was joining the military, and in the Bible Belt, that was a big thing back in 2006 and 2007. So, but every day, every party we went to, they were like, oh, here's the senior year, and here's the KZ and the rest of the boys joined the military. You're like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was kind of like a year-long party. But when I the highlight of my enlistment journey was I made out with some chick.
Oh, and then man, I can't tell that story.
And then
Mickey's just gonna come from the right.
I told her this story, and then I was told hey, let's go to your room and keep going. I was like,
ooh, let me see them movies.
Let's go. And then I went to my room, and my roommate was like, no, dude, you can't bring a girl in here. I gotta sleep. I was like, what? He's like, we're about to start the journey for the rest of our lives. I was like, bro,
Oh my God, bro.
what? And by the time I came outside, she was gone. That was my
turn down for what, dude? Come on.
The next day, as we're all shipping off, I see her and she looks at me. She's like, I was like, hey, it wasn't me. But,
my bad.
Yeah.
That's
It was
funny.
meant to be. It was meant to not happen. So I'm glad it didn't happen.
Absolutely.
But that was it.
That was like the last test to ruin your life before you disappeared.
Yeah.
One more chance.
Yeah.
One more chance. What about you, Jables? You got anything good?
No, I'm like this, dude.
Oh man,
I never had like the going away party. I had
we had like 3 of them.
So the way that I joined the Army was really like, so I did like a year at Bowling Green State University, in Northern Ohio, and I was, I went to school there, played rugby there, like it was a good time. But near the end of the year, I was like, I don't think this is for me. So it was just really
These
funny.
grades don't look so high. I'm out.
I was like, no. So I just kind of called my recruiter Sergeant Corn. Remember we made a joke about this. It was not spelled like I said. It was spelled like the band, like, oh, the backwards R and everything. I was like, no.
Yeah.
No, but I called Sergeant Corn. I was like, hey, it's not working out real well. And so he picked me up, took me to MEPS, and I did the whole thing. And then I just remember calling my dad and going, hey, I'm not asking, I'm telling you, I'm joining the Army. And he goes, okay. Like, because he was Air Force, so he was like,
Yeah.
bye. But it was really funny because I came home and like right before I left, because that was Fort Leonard Wood, and they made it this whole like big thing, but we didn't really do it. It was like a barbecue with my parents. It wasn't anything crazy, but I think Korea was a big deal because my parents took me to the airport in Cincinnati, and then I was like, I'm going to South Korea, and my dad's like, yeah. It was weird.
Shit.
Yeah, it was weird.
Right. God, I'm afraid to ask. But right. Go ahead. What about you, Kyle?
Well, and I swear to God, dude, every bit of this is fucking true. Before we go into this, and if Zach ever, if
name drop
Jack ever gets on this episode, Jack will verify that everything is true. So, anyways, Jack and I, so we partied quite a bit. We had a lot of friends, and we both weren't. I think I had just turned 21, and he was probably, I think, either 18 or 19. Our recruiter was a reservist recruiter, so he showed up in like civilian clothes every day, and this dude didn't give a shit, bro. He like took us, instead of taking us in the government cars, he'd just take us in his little Saturn, like the Saturn that was like all souped up or whatever, the little 2-door Saturn that was all like, me, I'm a Saturn. So we could smoke cigarettes on the way to MEPS. So that was like his huge thing. He's like, I can't go anywhere if I don't smoke cigarettes. But anyways,
I bet you had a really good run time.
Yeah, no, he got fired after we left, apparently. So we had there was bars there that would serve me until I turned, obviously I was of age and then I could drink, but all those same bars, still served people that weren't of age. And we're like, what's gonna have a party? And it was one of the main spots we went to. So like we went to the bartender, we're like, we're gonna have X amount of people, and it's not like we were like popular. It was the same amount of people that were coming to this bar every Thursday night for like, it was just that night, that bar, that crowd. So we're like, we're gonna have this party, it's gonna be involved with everybody, and we're hoping that we get some shots out of it, basically, right? Long story short, dude, obviously it went as planned. We had enough people. We drank a fuckload, and I think it was Jagerbomb. No, yeah, it was Jagerbombs. This last time. Yep, exactly. Last time I ever drank. So we were drinking these things. Remember, a just recently 21-year-old and a 19-year-old. We're drinking Jagerbombs all day, all night. Fucking, I drive home, right? Like this is where the story gets, like, the rest of it's just like all party, really nothing crazy. But like the drive home is where it gets pretty insane, right? Because Jack is passed out in my front seat. I'm like,
there's always a Jack.
I'm hammered drunk. mind you, this is my roommate. He's joining the Army with me. He's getting ready to ship out, but I hadn't got my orders yet or whatever. It hadn't worked. Either way, so we're driving home, and basically we're driving down past my old high school. There's like this giant hill. There's 1, 2, 3 stop signs, and then basically past the high school and then up to the hill to the left was where our house was. So I had made it past the 3rd stop sign. There was a cop in the high school parking lot, right? I was going fucking at least 75 down the hill past all 3 stop signs. Fucking no, this is like 2 a.m. No one's out. Again, I'm young. I'm an idiot.
Shot, engaged.
I'm an idiot. I could have honestly, and the not funny part about it is, as I'm telling it now as like a parent, it's like I could have fucking seriously hurt somebody.
Yeah.
But that being said, I don't do that anymore. Going forward now, we get pulled over, right? And in Florissant, Missouri, where I'm from, they wear blue, like the light blue shirts. Most of like the street cops wear light blue shirts, but like the guys that have been in a while that had some seniority wear white shirts.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I got a white shirt walking up, and I'm like, oh shit, because this is only going to go 1 or 2 ways. It's never in the middle. It's either you got a white shirt who's just like, I've seen it all, done it all. What do you got for me? Or you seen a white shirt that's just like, I don't care what you got. I'm taking you to jail. Mind you, he had every right. My boy's passed out in the truck or front seat, passed out drunk, like moaning, like get me home. I'm like, okay, dude. And like fucking, all he remembers is me saying like, don't say a fucking word. We're going to jail. Right. And I was like, hey, he's like, why I pulled you over? And like, it was instantly like a liar moment. I was like, well, like depends on how long you were following me. Like, no,
the pen is blue.
Like, well, I ran those stop signs and, I was going pretty fast. He's like, you were going 75. I'm like, yeah. Is it 25? I'm like, yeah, I know. He's like, you've been drinking tonight? I said, yeah, I have. We're having an army. I was like, not as much as him though. And I pointed at my boy, Jack, who's again drooling at this point, passed out, like officially like out. He's like, all right, let's talk a little bit. And I told him what was going on. It was the army going away party. We had a little bit too much. So his partner comes up to the other side of the car to open the car door for Jack to get out, but Jack's seatbelt's on and he fucking falls and then starts throwing up all over the cop's feet.
Oh shit.
Right. So meanwhile, I'm talking to this white shirt. Like I'm like pretty coherently, surprisingly at this point. Damn, like when something happens, dude, and Boughton, you've probably seen this. When something happens, dude, I can go from fucked up to like locked in a second. So I'm like talking to this cop, like, sir, like we joined the army. Like I know that we could seriously fuck up our career. I know that we could hurt somebody. He's like, what do you want me to do? I'm like, I don't know. Let us go. And he's like, well, you can't drive out of here. And I was like, well, our house is like 2 blocks away. Mind you, it's January, and there's snow on the ground. So he's like, yeah, park your car, leave the keys, walk home. It's all good. Right. I'm like, cool. Fucking thank you. Appreciate it. And I thought it was over. So it wasn't over. I'm carrying Jack's drunken body over my shoulder down the street, drunk as fuck, 2 a.m. Cop loops back around to make sure we hadn't gone into the car. At this point, Jack had been just dead weight. He's in the fucking grass. Well, no, the snow. Cop pulls back around. He's like, you good? And I'm like, I guess we're sleeping here, like, he's like, tell you what, he's like, you care if my partner drives your car? I'm like, no. And you remember, I don't know if you've been paying attention to the shows previous, but I failed my original drug test at MEPS. So there was blunt roaches in the car. There was like, dude, I was a walking fucking just felony waiting to happen that night. And so I'm like, sure, what else is going to fucking happen, So no shit. No shit, right. And then, well, the one dude must have been a vet. Like the white shirt must have been an old vet because he was just like super cool about it. You boys going to serve? He's like, yeah. Throw your boy in the front seat. I'll have my partner drive his car, and then you jump in the front seat of my car, and they'll follow us home. Dude, I was like, are you going to take me to jail? And he was like, I might. And I'm like, oh, I was like, I guess it's worth the risk. You know what I mean? Like, fuck it. At least my boy will go home. So he actually, dude, he took us home and fucking like, he like dropped my boy off on the fucking grass and literally just basically gave me like the, I just saved your life and your military career speech and all that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
dude, like, I appreciate you. I wish I remember his name, but like, if that guy's out there and I ever see him again, dude, I probably wouldn't remember him because I was hammered. But dude, that was. I wouldn't even be sitting here right now. Like, I just one of those just wild stories that popped into my head. So I mean, I know that took a little longer than expected, but
That's
no one ever believes it because
guardian angel.
Because cops don't do that shit. And unless you're just like, dude, I'm fucked, and you know it. Please help me.
Yeah, dude, you get some guys like that.
Fucking Jack, dude. Jack was fucked up. Jack fucking got a ticket that night for not having a seatbelt on. That's how he knows. That's the only thing he remembers was having his seatbelt on and fucking puking on the cop. Then he was like, who fucking signed this? And I'm like, I had to fucking put my hand. I had to do the thing with your hand. So he had put this thing up on his fridge and it was up there for a while. But I went to work the next morning. He said some dude, our buddy had woke him up like, hey, bro, you good? He's like passed out naked in the living room in his own vomit, just fucking fucked. I'm like, oh my God. Yep. No more Jaeger bombs.
Tuesdays. God damn it.
Fucking gotta love Tuesdays. So yeah.
Hell, that's way better than my going away story. What was your going away story? I don't know. I called my recruiter.
At least you didn't almost kill somebody. Well, I mean, I didn't almost kill somebody. I mean, I fucking could have, but still hilarious nonetheless, dude. I love that story.
Yeah. Mine was boring as shit. Yeah, that was a good way to start, dude. I'm sure everyone has stories like that. We want to hear them. Speaking of, well, no, we'll get that in a minute. We were talking about before we hit record. We're talking about tribe shit, and that's something we brought up last week. What tribe shit meant to us, and I know Barton had a question real quick before he got on. He asked specifically what is tribe shit? I mean, and I think that's a great question to ask. Is whatever tribe shit is, whatever it means to you, but to me, it means belonging exactly where you're supposed to be, where fate intended you to be. What about you, Barton? What do you think tribe shit means?
The tribe shit. I'm a man of the people. So for people that didn't listen to the first one, my profession now, when I got out of the Army, my last 3 years of the Army, I was a recruiter in 1st Brigade, Central Pennsylvania, Sealands Grove Station, so my entire purpose in life was to go find people. You know what I mean? Like I enjoy it. Recruiting is my thing. I enjoy talking to people and trying to help people become successful. So when I got out of the Army, that's the profession that I chose, was recruiting. Go find people, go talk to people. I've always been told that I was a people person, especially by my soldiers. That I was able to connect with them and talk to them, and it didn't matter what kind of personality they came from, if they were introverted, extroverted, if they were cold, if they were open, didn't matter. I could figure out a way to adapt and overcome and talk to each one of them in their own way. And so recruiting allowed me to do that. But it also, when I got out into the civilian world, it was really strange. Because it was the first time I was talking to people who weren't like me. You guys, if I talk about like, hey man, we talk about IED, I can talk about a VBIT, I can talk about going through a glass house. I don't have to give you a definition of what that is.
Yeah, you don't have to stop and tell us. Like, okay, let me give you 30 minutes real quick to tell you what a shoot house is.
Right. Let me tell you about the first time I went through a live fire shoot house. Let me tell you the first time I went through one of those.
It's hard to do with a raging boner. That's something they don't tell you.
Or with some dumbass 42-year-old soldier behind you who just joined me. He was a taxi cab driver in Buffalo. And I'm like, how old are you? He was like 42, Sarn. And I'm
was it Morrison? No, I'm just kidding.
They gave him live rounds.
I love you, Mo.
They gave him live rounds, and we're about to go clear this room. And I'm just like, we're doing what? This is my first time clearing the room, and you can have this motherfucker rounds? Like, but tribe to me definitely has to do with the people that that become a part of your circle. Your circle. Yeah. Who is your circle? And I'm not talking about your circle like, because I'm a recruiter, so I have thousands of acquaintances, people I know who are in other recruiting firms or other staffing agencies, other groups or whatever else from other companies, people I've worked with before. When I see them, it's like, hey, cool, what's up, dog? and we make that, that acknowledgement because we're both after the same thing. We want to find people, we want to fill positions. But at the end of the day, would I fight for that dude? Would I bleed for that person? Would I die for that person? Hell no. My circle, my tribe, the people, like Kyle. I didn't know Kyle before before this podcast. I know you talked about him, and Casey knows this, is that I would, in a loincloth and an axe alone, I would fight on a battlefield to defend Casey and his entire family, all of his children, his wife, everybody. I would die on the battlefield gloriously to
Tribe shit.
protect Casey. Tribe shit, dude. But the second that Casey was like, "Hey, this is Kyle Turner," Kyle became a part of that same circle, and I would put the same amount of energy into defending this man and his family. And that, to me, that's tribe shit. That's tribe shit.
Pretty
Like
much, yeah.
actual nomadic feeling of, I will lay my life down.
Yeah, I like that, because that's the way I look at it too. Like that, it's just a, I don't know if this is a good description for it, but it's just a primal instinct, like
Right. You have to think about it at the central base foundation of
I like
everything.
that.
What's that?
Well, you said nomadic, dude.
Primal.
I just like, well, it's that. I'm trying, like I said, I wanted to kind of like with what we're talking about because the three of us have already answered it in like 3 different ways, 3 very fucking good ways, 3 very different ways, which again, tribe shit. Just because like, yo, you got a different idea? Let's hear it. What do you got?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, make us better because you know something I don't. I know something you don't. Let's all get together and share that shit.
Yeah.
Because you want people to be better. You want to build people up around you, not just in a professional way, but like, dude, like I want to help, I want to learn how to be a better father and a better husband and a better, son, brother, all that shit. And
were you an NCO?
Me, no, but I
had
like
one.
I know.
Like
well, I had.
Sounds like one, dude.
He was.
I was, but I wasn't. Around. No, they gave me the job, but they didn't give me the title.
Oh, you were a corporal then?
No, not even. No, I never. I went to before I went to the board. I had got the fuckets in the bad way, and
yeah, I know.
I slept in through a PT test that the acting first sergeant was holding, and Blue Ford didn't like me that much, so he was like, "Oh, you want to be late to a PT test?" Like, and he was the acting first sergeant, so he was like, "Non-recommendation." I'm like, "Well played."
Yeah. Allegedly late to a PT test.
Well, in my defense, dude, they changed the time, or at least I was told the wrong time.
I try to make light of.
I'm telling you, dude. You remember that shit?
I remember now.
They changed the time, dude. They changed the time. I woke up because I was in headquarters, dude. I was on my own. So I'm like, I can get there 5 minutes before it, go knock out a PT test, and then be on my way to chow. And I showed up and they're already doing push-ups. And he was like, "Oh, you can just go back to bed then." I'm like, "Roger that, Sergeant, I guess. Have a good day." He's like, "Oh, by the way, I won't be recommending you." I'm like, "Yeah, that's fair, I guess." But I'm like, in my head, I'm like,
Turner was writing counselings as an E4 though. So
I was writing E5's counselings for them, and then letting them turn around and counsel me with the shit that I wrote. Fuck out,
dude.
And no, dude, I got treated like an NCO by the NCOs, and I definitely use that. I'd say like the best way I could describe it, and you could probably tell it differently. And if I did it differently, please tell me. But like, I feel like I use that to kind of protect. Like, because I was like I was still a Joe. I was still what we call them, the errants, the night juniors, basically, or whatever that was.
No, junior nights.
I was still one of those guys. I was still the boys, but I was also like living with a fucking E5 in my room who I had pulled rank in room, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, I'm living in a gunner's room. I'm a gunner.
Yeah, we didn't envy you at all, dude.
Dude, fuck that, man.
Because I remember because like all of us were like E3s, like, hey, dude, fuck that. Turner's got to do this shit. He's not getting paid for it, man. Fuck that. He's not getting the respect.
Telling you, I was a scapegoat. Scapegoata.
Yeah.
For sure, dude. Anytime something happened, it was my fault, dude. Fucking motherfucker in E6 gets us. Now I'm going to go into that story.
That's not tribe shit, dude.
That's not tribe shit. That's why that particular E7 will not ever be on this post, because he might have thinks he made this tribe, but also
I'm gonna bring it on solo. Just me and him.
Casey,
I'm gonna
you know
sit
what?
here.
You know what tribe shit is? You remember sitting on that gator in Africa, and I was telling you about how to go to college, and I was talking to you about how to apply to college, the
Yeah.
different degrees, industries, and you were like, "Bro, did you know you can build bridges and shit? Civil engineering, motherfucker!" And I was just sitting there going, I was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, dude."
Yeah.
He goes, and then you looked at me and you said, "I could build a fucking bridge and put my fucking name on it. And then I can tell my kids that's your fucking dad's bridge, dude."
Damn,
You
that's
said
not,
that shit to me.
yeah.
I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
Start with a room in your garage for an office.
That's the
Go
Over
from
here
there.
with popsicle sticks.
Hey, real quick. I'm gonna blow my own bubble up real quick. Today, your boy officially signed his offer letter for his promotion, internal promotion at work.
Yeah, dude. That's what's up, dude.
Yeah, today was good.
Chef.
That's why I took the 50 milligrams like between work.
You should have boofed it. Put it in your butt.
What the fuck?
It's called boofing. Look it up.
I'm not gonna Google that.
I'll Google it for you. Don't worry. Boofing.
No, don't do it. My mom might be watching.
The boof is a slang
Hey, dude.
term that means to introduce drugs into the anus via an enema so that the person boofing can get high. Alcohol can also be boofed
So what do
through
you do?
even less.
What do you practice with Welch's gummy? It's like, okay, this is out.
Well, boof me a couple gummies, dude. Hey, be quiet. Don't say
Rip
gummies
Mac,
too loud.
oh
My
my
kid hears gummies and he's like, gummy. He turns into a little jelly bear fiend or a little fruit snack fiend. Gummy.
When everyone says gummy to me, I'm like, what, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50?
Well, what's funny is so like I never even called him gummies to him, you know, and we're talking his Welch's actually. We're not talking edibles for my kid. For those listening that could judge it later and of course, you know, out of context. But anyways, my dad was in town and he was like, "Oh, you giving your kid gummies?" And then just happened to be that one time my kid was paying attention because he just turned 2, so he's like picking and choosing when he picks a word to learn. And he was just like, "Gummy," and then next thing you know, like that's all. So now he's just like gummy. I'm just like, God damn, that's up. But it's cool though.
One day, pothead. One day.
Yeah, man, chill out, dude. I'll get you your fix.
Just
When you're 21.
By the time he's 21, he's fucking fine. This whole place will be methamphetamines will be like a thing.
Yeah, that's why I don't think weed's
Thank
at
God, I will be long gone by then.
I made a joke last week, like someone's got to teach them how to smoke that shit, dude. Like beer's just accessible. Your kid can go in your shit and drink your beer. You know, my kid's not gonna know how to smoke that weed until he's a little older.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's called a vape pen. Just pull on it, bro.
I don't have that shit. Well, I mean, I do, but not often. I like the flower. I'm old school.
Hey, real quick before we continue, you brought up JB, you brought up your mom. Let's give her a shout out, dude. I know that's why you're wearing the shirt today.
Oh, yeah.
Squad. So Barton's mom, JoJo. Hey, we love you.
We love you, Mom.
Never heard about that from medics.
So Mom got diagnosed in July last year with breast cancer, stage 3.
Oh.
And so the last year she's been fighting. She's fighting the good fight.
Like a fucking champ.
Just
Hell
like
yeah.
a champ, like a Barton does.
Fuck yeah,
and
dude.
Head first, you know, I'm the juggernaut, bitch. You know, that's how we do it. That's how all of us do it.
Balls out.
You know, for Harambe. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
She'll make fun of me for that one because she hated the Harambe joke.
Balls out for Barton.
Yeah. No, we love you, Mom. We know you're fighting hard. We got some stuff going on right now, extra news that happened. I don't want to say anything because
we hear though.
We fighting every day. We love you, Mama.
Hey, I'm gonna pick your brain here a little bit because you know we're all about mental health here on the Veteran Chat Project. So like, you know, the mother is impossible to replace. Who you leaning on right now? And no, this is not why I brought you on. I promise.
I know, no, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. That's a loaded question. Because every person in my life that is important to me in my tribe in my tribe, in my circle, um, they know my mother in many different ways.
Yeah.
So, for example, you have my children who look at her as Grandma JoJo, and she's always been this entity in their life, and she is the one and only grandmother that is. I mean, when you go to Grandma JoJo's house, we get
Yeah. Yeah.
popsicles, and we do this, and we do that. Like that's that part of their life, but they've never experienced. They have with my wife's grandmother, but they haven't. They're not their own grandmother, like not someone like that young. You know what I mean? I guess we're
Yeah.
that close to them in age, and so like death is not like a thing for them, or sickness or whatever you want to call it. So they don't see that, they don't understand it, but it's an innocence that's. But I lean on them because of that positivity, that innocence that they have of like, oh, it's gonna be okay, Dad. Yeah, there's nothing that's gonna happen to Grandma JoJo. She's fine. Like that's the stuff that I lean on more than anything, probably.
Hmm.
My wife Jenna has been with me with my mom because my mom is just like me, so she's wilding out all the time. Grandma, I am a direct descendant of Grandma JoJo for sure. She and I are both very ADHD. We're very hyperactive. We're very in your face, extroverted people. And so, my mom being very blunt that she is, and I'm very blunt like I am. I'm just in your face energy.
Yeah.
Um, my wife, who's a very introverted person, had to deal with that stuff. We know in adapting to that relationship. Like this is his mom, she's the best. I gotta
Yeah.
love her. Like, but she did that. So my wife knowing the struggles that we had, and me and my mom, and the clashes that we had growing, because we're very similar, so we of course clash. um my wife knowing about all that stuff, I would say that my wife is, outside of my kids, my wife is the number one person I lean on. But other than that, it's really random good people. Like
Yeah.
there's a woman at my current place of business that is, she's on the remission from breast cancer.
Oh,
And
so
I
you had
got
that connection there.
right. So I had some bad news yesterday, or not bad news, but like iffy news yesterday from my mom, and it wasn't the greatest feeling. And I walked into work this morning, and me and this woman, we made eye contact. We're like a half a building apart because it's a big open space. And me and her made eye contact, and she waved at me because she always is asking me how my mom's doing. And I kind of gave her a half-ass wave, and she just kind of looked at me like, "What's wrong?" And I just lost it. And
Oh shit.
she came running over. She picked me up. She threw me in one of the conference rooms, and she gave me a big old hug. And this woman is in remission. She just did the same stuff that my mom did. She had the double mastectomy. She had the tattoos that had to happen afterwards, like all the lymph nodes. Like she did all that stuff. And it was the fact that she was able to. I understand from your mom's perspective, but I'm gonna pause and I'm gonna hug you. That
Yeah.
was weird. That was crazy. I'm hugging a breast cancer survivor because I'm sad because my mom is in the middle of breast cancer. And that was a
That's. I mean, that I feel
like
like that kind of wraps up like
right,
what we've been talking about. Like, I mean,
the
that's
tribe, dude.
tribe shit. That's tribe shit,
And
dude.
that's tribe shit because my place where I work now, one of our 6 core values is keep the family feel. And I know I
Yeah.
mentioned that in one of my other ones. When I tell you family feel, that's what I'm talking. That woman is in accounts receivable collections, and I'm in HR, and we had that
Yeah.
connection. You know what I'm
What
saying?
what if I know your dad served in the Air Force. Like what how's he doing, man? Do you know? Because I know you mean I've met your dad probably 3 times, but like
Yeah.
from the reception I've gotten, like he's a great dude, good human being, great human being. But he seems like a tough guy. Like
He is a lot. He is a lot better at holding his emotions inside than I am.
I
I'm
feel like
I'm
that,
a I'm a wear your heart on your sleeve kind of guy.
you guys feel
And
like that comes with the generation of veterans.
I
I think
do.
it's not. I don't even think it's just the generation of veterans, but I think it's that generation of people where it was like,
Oh yeah. I
suck that
mean,
shit up, fucking move forward.
when was
You know what I mean?
when was your dad in?
My dad was.
Or what? Do you know what year he
I think
joined? Like,
I think he was.
as far
I
as
think
like
he.
age?
I think he was a. Shit. I want to say he was in the. Oh man, I'm gonna fuck this up because I was born in '86, so I want to say he might have been late '70s, early '80s.
That
Ray Ban-
that would make him what? How old?
So I'm 36, and he was 30 years old when I was born. So my dad is 66 years old.
So he's what, in the 25-year-old when he joined? You think?
I want to say it because I remember because my dad has a great story of how the military can change your life. So, Dad, sorry, Bob, you're gonna get the story real quick. My father grew up in Plymouth, Michigan. Um, he was he was really good guy. Didn't really he was a guitar player, Boy Scout, the whole nine yards. Um, Big fisherman up in Michigan. Obviously, you're gonna go. My grandpa Phil, his blood father, was a big fisherman too. So there's like my favorite picture of my dad is when he was a kid. He's holding up a big pike, like a giant pike. He's like fifth or sixth grade, and he's holding up this giant pike, and this thing is like the same length as my father, and he's like, and it looks just like my little brother when he was a kid. It's really funny,
Oh
but
wow.
yeah. No, but my
VCP
dad.
nomads.
What's that?
Sorry. Oh, I'm in the chat. My bad. I completely
Kyle's
forgot that
working
I was
behind
just.
the scenes, man.
I
No,
forgot
he's
that I
work.
was.
Yeah, he's working behind the scenes, trying to find another, like, find
Oh,
another term for tribe
what
shit.
was the original question, KZ, about my dad?
How's he doing, dude? Like with all this stuff going,
Oh,
just because, like, I mean, because you and Kyle both mentioned a good point. Like, his generation of veterans, like or just
my
people in
dad.
general.
My dad's a tough dude.
Yeah.
I mess with him all the time because
How old?
I feel like
How old is he right now?
he's 66 years old right now. Because if I'm 36, he's 66, and then he'll turn 67, I believe, in on August 5th of this year, and then I'll turn 37 in September 7th.
That sounds like. I mean, that sounds like my. That sounds like my dad. Just like he's pushing 60, but like that dude just had like appendix surgery, and he's like, I still need to go to work. Like, dude, what? He just had
Yeah, no,
surgery.
well, my dad, dude, okay, that's sorry, I got off topic earlier. So my dad, when he graduated high school, he went to Michigan State University, and like from what and Dad, I'm sorry if I'm messing the story up, but like 3 weeks into it,
That's gross.
he dropped out of Michigan State, like he went home, right?
Because
No,
they
no,
suck.
huh? Because they suck at football, but no, no, he went home because he was like, college isn't for me, and he became a horseshoer. Like he was just like
Oh,
shoeing
that's
horses,
dope.
like a farrier or whatever you call it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he was doing that whole thing up in like northern Michigan, just being a boss, just like farm ladies all day long. Like Bob was killing
Yeah.
it. No, but then and Dad, I'm sorry if I got the story wrong, but I'm pretty sure what he told me is that one day he got kicked in the face by a horse. He's like, "Fuck this, I'm out." And he went to the Air Force recruiter, joined up. I remember him telling me stories of sitting at the MEPS in downtown Detroit, and there was bars on the windows. And he joined up,
Fuck that.
and he became a B-2 bomber or jet engine mechanic, and he was in Dover Air Force Base. He was over in Germany. He was in, and then where I was born is Edwards Air Force Base out in California.
So do you? Yeah, I think
But I think
that's that.
for the man, for what he's done with his life, and because he went on to go into sales for General Electric and became one of the most successful aircraft engine salespeople in the world. And I mean, the man came from the bottom and he went up, dude. Like he literally came from whatever you want to call white poverty in Detroit and fucking scaled up, and now he's living. He's got places down in Florida. He's got places up here in Cincy. Man's killing it. You know what I mean? But how is he doing with my mom? He's the hardest dude I know because he has not shown a shred of weakness during this entire time. I've taken him out a couple times. We went to dinner couple like 2 or 3 times just to get him out, have some guy time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I know it's killing him. I
Does
know
that-
I know he wants to let it out. I want to let it out for him.
I mean
can
that.
see
Yeah.
it. I just want
That's. I couldn't. I don't know
Try
about you. I don't know about you, Kyle. Like I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could be in that scenario, or I could just imagine that scenario if my wife's in a life or death situation. I don't know if I could put myself there, like voluntarily.
No.
So,
I mean, just the other day, Mom was at. I'm pretty sure she's already told her sisters, but because you got to remember, my mom's one of 6. There was 5 sisters and 1 brother, and my mom's one of those sisters. So if I say something, one of these girls is watching right now. So I don't want to put anything out there that my mom hasn't put out there yet. But my mom was at a appointment the other day, and when they started to talk about, hey, this might have elevated to another level, like the
yeah.
ultimate level of cancer. My mom went cold. She's trying to process this stuff. But I want to give a huge shout out to my father, who just put his hand out there, put his hand on her hand. He didn't shed a tear. He didn't do anything. And when they both, and she's tearing up, right? She's tearing up.
Oh
And
yeah.
when they walked out of there, he looked at her and he gave her credit and said, "I'm so proud of you for keeping it together in there." Like,
Oh fuck yeah. That
pain
sounds like
in
a
front of
man
pain
thing.
in front of pain in front of pain, and like that's, if you can find love like that, hold on to that shit.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
The
Love you, Mom and Dad.
Actually, I had a question. Real quick. So a couple of weeks ago we did, and I know it'll probably just be like a quick springer on you, but you seem like the type that's up for the challenge.
Okay.
So we did. I know you've probably seen it, the Letter to Me challenge, and I'm
Let's
sure
go.
if you've seen it, you've probably at least put in a little thought into it. So I mean, not to just put you on the spot and say full letter, but like if you were to sit down, let's just say, and to be able to give a couple, just give yourself some advice as a younger man, pre-army, pre anything, and however you want to do that too. I know me and Boughton both flirted with different ideas on it of the space-time continuum and not fucking it up and like being like, fuck it, dude, go left, don't go right here, fuck that, fucking,
Bill and
tell
Ted's Great
tell
Adventure.
that cop that you were fucking speeding and he's gonna laugh his ass off. But yeah, dude,
Man,
what would be your little thing, dude, to yourself? Let's hear it.
I like it. I like the ambush. I'm not gonna
Yes.
lie.
I love it too. Let's go.
I know.
This
That's
is gonna
why
be- this
there's
is
some
right
people
off
that
the
can
rip.
handle it.
This
Some
is
people
right
that
off
can
the
handle
rip.
it. I feel like you're one of them.
Yeah.
I can handle it. I'm right off the rip. I think I'm gonna get in trouble, but I don't care. The moment that I would drop in today, Justin, 2023 Justin would probably drop in on, it might have been 2003, 2004 Justin. I was a sophomore, I think, maybe a junior. I don't fucking know. I was in high school, and it was my first, no, it was my second real girlfriend, but it was my first love. And we've been dating for like 8 or 9 months.
Your advice would be with women?
Yeah, dude.
No. Hold on. Hold on.
What the fuck?
It would, no. You gotta give me a second. Baby. I'm about to fucking, give me a second. I'm about to roll this shit.
Oh
Dude.
my
I'm rewriting my
God,
letter.
dude.
I'm rewriting my letter. I'm just kidding.
So I would drop in.
I got so many more
on
letters to write.
because that Justin at that time was at a Christmas party. That Justin at that time was at a Christmas party at his girlfriend's house. Her dad had this big ass huge mansion house, and he was like a dentist that owned other dentists. I don't fucking know. But I was in the basement with her, and she was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go over to this room." And this is the moment right before I lost my virginity. This is my first time ever having sex. But what I would do is I would be me right now, and I would drop down, and the chair next to me, who's waiting there going, like I'm freaking out, like it's happening, you know, like,
It's
and
got
I
weird.
would drop down next to that guy, and I'd be like, "Yo, dude, hey, slow it down, because right now you're about to become a man. You know what I'm saying? You're about to become a dude. That's cool, but understand what that entails. Understand that you're going to have to protect, provide, work, 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 work. You're about to leave all the innocence behind you. Take it slow and just chill." If I could tell myself anything, it would be the advice that my father gave me. Dude, it's not a sprint. You're not trying to get to the end real quick, dude. Why are you trying to get by everything so quick? It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Take your time. Get to the end when it's right. Take as much time as you need to get to the end so you can enjoy every single second of it. Because right now, what I feel like is that I'm 36 years old and I feel like I'm 46 or 66 or 50, whatever, because I lost my 20s, I lost most of my 30s because I dedicated it to so much else that I didn't think about myself. I didn't slow down. I didn't chill. I was always trying to make that person happy and that person happy and everybody else happy. I was trying to be make somebody proud, or yeah, mom and dad, I got this. Yeah, see, I didn't fuck up. I'm not a piece of shit. Yeah, I serve my country. See, I'm cool. I'm good. No, dude. Take your time. Do you. Life is going to take forever until it's not. Just chill.
Fuck, dude.
Just chill, dude.
Still a weird start.
Enjoy the moment.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That start was a little bit. I was
got
like,
weird.
where?
I was like,
It
is he
got
about to be like, tag me in? Like, no, you can't say that shit here, man.
Was that a bad start? Was that a weird?
It was good though. It was good. I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked
Does
it.
it make sense?
It
No,
does because
it was weird as fuck, but it made sense.
it's very weird and it made good sense.
No,
I guess the only reason I thought about that version of myself is because that was like me when I didn't. The Pandora's box wasn't open yet. I was still into fucking Pokemon cards and shit. You know, like,
no, that
you know
makes,
what I mean?
dude, that makes a lot of sense because, like,
As a man, you have to think about that. Like, that was the
Yeah.
moment where it was like, oh fuck, women.
that's the advice, because that would be the advice I give my children, because, like, looking back in my military career, like, when it came to, like, the job itself,
It hit a lot harder than the beginning. Sorry.
Yeah. that
Sorry.
You're
like,
good. No, that's
just
good
like
feedback.
taking a chill pill and like doing the job ahead of you. Like take a chill pill and just do the job ahead of you. That's advice I'd give my children, because, like, that's how I lived my military career, really. Just like do what's in front of you right now. And when I got into the civilian world, I don't know what changed, but I think maybe it was the idea that I was, like, surrounded by so many guys at fast track, but, like, joining the civilian world, I was like, I'm a vet. I should be promoted within 30 fucking days. And it finally caught up to me, and then I finally got this amazing job, where I'm like, where I don't know what changed in me, but I was like, I need to go back to the mentality, like, worry about, like, just do the job, and if you're good enough at the job, then you'll get what's coming to you.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not trying to blow my head here, but, like, this is like, it's like what happened today was a culmination of that hard work of just, like, do the job that's ahead of you, and then, good will happen. So
Absolutely.
I love that advice. I think that's advice I give to my children for sure. My sons especially, just like, hey, chill the fuck out and just take your time.
Yeah, and if you go back to that time, be like, put a condom on. You never know. You never know.
Well, like it's a hard thing to swallow. It's a hard pill to swallow, I should say.
Yeah.
When you're, because some of the times, like when I sit here and think about myself as a 36-year-old guy, I go, okay, where was my dad at 36?
Yeah.
So if he was 30, then I was only 6 years old when my dad was 36. I'm 36 and I have a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old. and I've been married for 14 years already. My dad's only been married for 6. I'm like, I feel like I'm supposed to be ahead of the game, but I don't feel like I'm ahead of the game.
Hey, dude.
You know what I mean?
That's your dad's game, though.
Yeah, exactly. That's something my wife struggles with a lot.
My dad was, not to interrupt you.
No, go
ahead.
ahead.
No, I love this.
My dad was 18, 19. My parents were super young. My brother was born. He's 40 right now. So I think about where my dad was at 36. Yeah, like my dad had my brother probably wasn't even living in the house. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
My dad was 36, I think, when I left the army.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what.
No, that's not true. He was probably like in his early 40s, though. I'm terrible at math.
But that's the stuff. Like that's the stuff.
That's his path, though. You know, like you're doing good for where you're at because that's where you're at. And I mean, you got a roof over your family's head right now. You know, like that's, dude. It's better than a lot of people.
Yeah, there's sometimes like my wife
for that.
There's sometimes like my wife has that exact struggle you're talking about, just like, and then I'll sit there and like, you know, not to be a devil's advocate, but like she'll sit there and like, you know, we go through our strokes of bad luck, whether it's financial bad luck or just like, you know, God's grace. Cause you know, last the other night, our trampoline like flew and hit our neighbor's fence. You know, it's like just bad, you know, we just struck a bad luck, but like
you got to tie them bitches down here.
Yeah. And then sometimes
every day.
she'll, you know, she'll sit there and she'll be like, God, like we are cursed with that. Like sometimes she'll question her ability as a mother, you know? And I'm like, and I'd have to remind her, I'm like, hey girl, you're like, you barely turned 30. You got 4 fucking kids. You have your own house.
You killed it as a mom, dude. Killing it.
It's like you're barely over 30. You got 4 kids. Like you've done military life and civilian life. You're crushing it. Like
my thing is reminder of that horse and that farmer and his horse. You remember that story?
Yeah.
Reminder of the farmer and the horse. I don't know why it popped in my head. It's like I can't call it.
Can't call it, dude.
Can't call it.
Yeah.
We might. Yeah, that sucks. Oh, we're fucked. Can't call it.
Yeah. I love that analogy. Yeah. Some like, you know, and I have those days too. I'm not gonna lie. I know we all have those days, but like, you know, I reflect on those days a lot more because it happens with my wife, and I have to remind her like, hey, you're good. Like, there's no need to like.
Which one? My thing after getting out was the people who I thought were.
Read it out loud.
Yeah, go ahead. Read it out loud, JB.
My thing after getting out was that the people who I thought were in my ring were the ones telling me that I wasn't where I should be in my life. That term.
Yeah, dude, that shit'll fuck you up real quick. Bro, that's not tribe shit. In case people were wondering.
So I understand exactly what you mean, because one of the things that I struggled with in my transition, and I feel like I had a pretty good transition, KZ. I feel like you would agree with that. If I can make a poster child chart of how to get out of the Army and get a job.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that in a minute.
Absolutely,
we're gonna talk about that in a minute. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
But the people that are telling you, "Hey, come home. We need you to come home. Get out of the Army. Get out. Don't do this. Don't do that. Just come here." And then you get there, and then they don't spend time with you.
Hey, before you go any further, those are the same fucking people that when you go home on leave, they're like, "Hey, you want to come see me?" Like, "Hey, motherfucker, I just drove 6 hours to be here."
Or I just came from around the world to be here. You can't drive around the fucking corner.
Yeah, come see me. Yeah, go ahead. But I'm saying those are the same people.
No, that's a good point. I'm gonna change. But I don't know. That's my disc jockey thing. Whatever.
I should have done. I should have some more sound effects here. I don't. I failed you guys.
No, but the same people, when you come home from a deployment and you let everybody know on MySpace or Facebook or whatever it was back in the day when you were coming, MySpace, I miss you.
Yeah, for real.
But you will let them know, hey, I have block leave or I have mid-tour leave from this time to this time in the middle of May, April, March, February, whatever.
And they message you on the last day. Hey, bro.
Right. No, but the best part is
not today, bitch. I'm laying down and jerking off a bunch.
The best part is you land on a Saturday. So nobody's gonna hang out with you because it's Saturday night, whatever. And then you leave the next Saturday. But during the week, the whole time, everyone's got school, everyone's got work, everyone's got whatever else is going on. And oh, I didn't have time for you. It's like,
Yep. And I
cool.
mean, like, I get that, and that's one thing that gets
And I
harder too.
understand
Is
why they
like,
don't have time for you, but
yeah, yeah, it's that, like you said, you're having people that you think were like part of the squad, part of the ride or dies, and then you get home
yep,
and they're not. They're not. You're like, oh, they're like, oh yeah, you know, like I can't even remember, dude. It was like a bunch. It's just like you said, a bunch of people trying to say, hey, bro, we're gonna kick it, we're gonna do this, and like when I got out, man, I was going through a divorce and I just got chaptered. So I mean, like I needed every bit of like attention, I guess you could say I could get, and I was quickly found myself getting the wrong attention because it was like, hey, I got drugs, and I was like, fuck yeah. And
yeah.
thankfully, I mean, I didn't go too far down that road, but I mean, even still today, man, I got friends that are they're dropping like flies back home because of that shit, and you know, it's just you got to be in your own circle, you really do, until you find your tribe who
Yes.
because like if you even have like the slightest feeling that something's off with somebody, dude, fuck them, not fuck them, but also like match energy. Like one thing
And
I've been trying to be big on
it's
is
a
like
lot.
not treating people the same. I like so not matching energy, but just kind of I'm trying to be the same fucking person I am. It's like I might not be perfect. I got a little aggressive streak in me, but ultimately that aggression can be used in brilliant ways. Like they say, like, oh, you're an asshole, like I could be your asshole though. You know what I mean? Like I could fight for you as hard as I fight for anybody else I fight for, because that's me, that's who I am. And then the more people I get under my wing, so to speak, the stronger
Yeah.
I feel, because it's like, I'm helping people, or I feel like I'm helping. I don't know.
Oh yeah, dude. Hey, let me well, I know we already popped this up. Let me say something about this real quick to like all our veterans out there about like the people I thought that were in my ring but they weren't. Um here's a key tip of advice to all our veterans getting out. Don't fucking lie about how the process is going for you.
Yeah.
Because that's what I
Don't
did.
lie to yourself either.
Oh yeah, because that's what I lied to myself and I lied to my peers. I told them like, dude, things are great. I got this job, this job, this job. Like I'm being very fucking successful. It was a complete and total lie, because it sets that precedent of like, okay, then if he can do it, I can do it. So like that's my tip of advice. Like, well, that's what the first thing I thought of when James wrote that. People telling me, people who were in my ring once weren't there before, like afterwards. Like, be honest to yourself. Don't lie about how easy or hard the transition is. If it's fucking hard, let people know, because
Let them know, dude.
that's the first thing that like that's the I've been guilty of this like many times, of like lied about like how easy the transition was for me, and then I'll get a battle buddy who like has a shitty transition, and they'll ask me for, or like they've asked me for help before. I'm like, dude, fuck that. Like I can barely help myself. I can't help you, but I'm too proud to say shit like that.
Yeah. So
So
you just feed them like some, bro, you just
yeah,
gotta take it day by day,
yeah, yeah. So like, yeah, that's
live your life a quarter mile at a time. I don't
exactly. So
know.
like, be very fucking blunt and be very fucking honest about how hard or how easy it really is when you transition, because like, if other people know how tough it's going to be, they're going to take that shit a little bit more seriously. Like Barton mentioned in his first episode about the classes you should be taking, like Rooster mentioned on his episode, the classes you should be taking when you transition out of the military. Like that stuff is very useful. That way we can be completely blunt and honest with our brothers and sisters when we get out, and we can stay in that same tribe circle, and they can trust us.
Yeah.
So we can say like, hey,
Absolutely.
hey, dude, this shit is fucking tough, but that class I took fucking helped, or this shit is fucking tough. That class I took didn't fucking help. This is what I did to make it help. Or, I have one specific battle buddy in mind, and it's probably going to take a couple episodes for me to be completely honest, but like, I feel like that's the reason why he reached out to me when I was in San Antonio, because I said I was I put it on Facebook that I was successful. Things were going great after the military. F the Army. I didn't need them. And because I did that, this specific battle buddy like reached out to me and he was like, "Hey dude, I see you're having all this success. I need help with this. Can you help me?" I'm like, "Dude, I can't fucking help you because I'm barely holding my shit together." It's like, "Oh, my bad." Like, according to what you're telling the world, like, you got your shit together. It's like, no, that's not real. So be honest. It's worth it.
If you're honest with people and you tell the truth, you can clear a lot of shit out of the way.
Yeah.
Just all that extra bullshit and all the extra drama and whatever the fuck you want to call it, you can get out of the way. And if you keep lying and you keep lying to yourself and you keep going around the truth, then it's going to build up and it's going to kill you.
Yeah. And that's like, for the next 15, 20 minutes, I want to pick your brain, Justin, because I'm not going to lie. When it comes to transition, mine was hard as fuck. And you were one of the people I lied to, saying I was doing great because I didn't want to let you down. You were a mentor of mine. So,
hey, by the way, guess what?
What?
You didn't let me down, brother. You made me very proud.
But I didn't want to let you down with what I wasn't doing, what I wasn't accomplishing. But when I compare my transition to your transition, I feel like, I think you've said it before. Your transition to me is like what grade A transition looks like. What you should be looking for, like the key things you should be doing, key checklists that you should be doing when you transition out of the military. And you flirted with the idea of like, dude, should I do my own podcast? I don't know if people will listen to me. I think your ideas on like how to transition successfully would be great tools to have for veterans or incoming veterans to listen to, service members getting out. So like, I need you to explain to me and Kyle, because I briefly told Kyle, but like your idea of like transition, like how would you break it up in parts? You remember that? Okay. Remember that conversation?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Let's wing it. No, when you talk about transition, you have to break it up into parts because you have your ETS date, all right, or your PCS, whatever you want to call it, the date that you are no longer have to report to anybody. That date, and you have to, do it just like the Army told you. You have to back plan or whatever, or backwards plan the whole way through. So the first thing is you have to decide the first portion of your time deciding to get out of the military is you have to decide why. Why do I want to get out? Is this for me? Is it for me or is it for somebody else? Am I doing this for me? Because depending on what job you're doing, depending on
would you say that's probably the toughest part of figuring out if you should get out or not? If it was up to you.
It was the hardest part for me when I had to get out of the military because I don't know how else to explain it except for the fact that imagine and you in Casey, you might imagine this is my phone. I'm just gonna assume that it's like a pair of keys, right? Like this is the pair of keys that I have to an Abrams battle tank. And I willfully they're yours now.
It's hard.
I can't touch them anymore. I gave up that power, the ability to be able to walk up to one of those bad boys, touch it, drive it, command it, whatever. Shoot it. Yeah.
So much fun.
That's the best job in the world, I swear.
And I guess that's
well, my point of bringing that up is because, like, I'm advocating for you because you're one of my best friends. Like, I think a lot of people have would tune into what you have to say as far as like key successful tips to transition.
I mean, if you want to get out, you want to get out. but you have to do it successfully, and it matters about what you want to do when you get out. Do you want to go into administration? Do you want to go into human resources?
Yeah.
Do you want to go into manufacturing? Do you want to be labor? Like, because it sucks because when you go do this, Soldier for Life program, which is, by the way, do everything that they tell you to do, because the more information you have, the better equipped you're going to be. Even if it's shitty information, okay, I don't want to listen to that. At least you know that now. It's information is information, so just take it, and it's free. But when you're doing all of that, you just you, I don't know how to explain it, man. You just have to go get after it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you have to go get after it. Use the energy that you had from the military.
Oh, hey, this is a
Take
good
that.
question right here. So James said, like, that first part of, like, handing the keys over, was it giving up that power of having the keys, or was it the identity of you being a tanker?
It was the fucking identity, dude.
Mm.
It was the identity of being a tank commander, and that, like, your dick
That-
was hitting the fucking floor, man. Like, you had to curl that bad boy up and lock it to your right knee. That was the
Still
part.
do. Just kidding. It's really average.
Boom. No, it was that's what it felt like, dude. It was being a tank commander, being able to walk into a room and just be like, yeah, my name is Staff Sergeant Barton. I'm Charlie 22 or whatever. You know what it was? It was cool.
Yeah.
And then when you became a recruiter, that
Hey, here's a little, like, double-edged sword, like, what do you call them, like, baited question. Yeah, here's a baited question. Where did you feel more power as a non-commissioned officer, as a tank commander or a recruiter?
tank commander.
Really? Because you had the ability to take lives.
Yeah.
Makes
Just
sense.
not the authorization.
Yeah. Ability, yeah. Authorization. We'll wait.
Yeah.
That's
No, my favorite part about being a recruiter is that I never told a lie.
Hey, dude, that's good. That's good. That's a good thing to put on your mantle right there, dude. Especially as a recruiter.
Yeah, I know a lot of recruiters that do not share the same. Only from what I've heard other people say, their recruiters told them, and basically some of that shit was fucking great, dude.
No, I'm telling you this. I had moms that sat in front of my desk, and I'd sit there, and they're like, "So my baby's gonna be on 11 Bravo. Does that mean that he's gonna get shot at?" And I was like, "Yes, ma'am." And she's like, "What's an IED?" And I would YouTube that shit, and I'd move my screen and be like, "This is when I'm like, your boy's probably gonna see one of those once or twice." And are you serious? I was like, "Man, I'm just being honest with you. Your boy wants to do that shit, so just make him go do it." And she goes, "All right, I'll sign the papers." But if I could do that, I could do anything. That's why I got out of the Army, and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna go fucking do that shit in the civilian world. I got the confidence from the Army.
Yeah, me and you need to get offline, because I really think, like, you, like, I feel like you need to create your own platform, because I think you have a lot to say. I think we figured that out your first episode, which was like 3 fucking hours long.
I'm sorry,
but like, you got a lot to say, and I think there are specific veterans and service members that would take your advice.
I mean, even if you were to give us like them 7 parts in an episode, and we just post them with your solos, and then start that way, or just do one solo episode or something like that, and we'll just post it, get some people. I mean, and then also, obviously, always, how podcasts work is, we'll be on yours, you'll be on ours. Obviously, our
don't fuck
audience,
around. Don't fuck around. I know you got the equipment right now.
I told you about it.
You want that shit?
I got so excited. Hey, Kyle, I got so excited after the first time I did a podcast with you guys that I bought my own shit.
I know.
But I think, I mean, I really do. Like, you're like, in my, like, you're a really positive fucking person, and I think but at the same time, you're a realist too. And I think the mix of those two things, a positive realist, is what our service members now need to like realize. I see a lot of service members now because what I do at my company, like we do the disability exams, and we're starting to see more and more service members that are still in getting their exams in before they even ETS, which is great. I love the VA for allowing us to do that, but like more and more service members I see, and like that's the first question I ask you while I'm taking blood pressures. I'm like asking them questions, doing a visual acuity test, and I'm like, hey, what's the plan when you get out, man? It's like, I don't know. I was like, and like the first thing I'm like, hey, that's great. Like you deserve to relax a little bit, but you need to have a plan.
Yeah.
Like,
Right, like that relaxation has to end.
When's terminal leave over? Terminal leave's over in 60 days. Brother man, you got 60 days to come up with a plan if you don't have one.
You got 5 days to come up with a plan. You got fucking 55 to execute it.
Oh, yeah, that's even better.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
From a recruiter standpoint, yes. You got to have that 30, 60, 90-day plan. What's your plan?
Yep. Take that week, dude. Enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
You earned it. But don't get too comfortable because it's so comfortable to get set up on the couch after you get out, dude. I tell you that right now.
You know what's
I did
funny,
that,
dude, about that mentality is like guys like myself, you or Barton will get out before the 20 years, right? And we'll and from what I've seen, I'm only going on my personal experience, but like the veterans that I see at work, the guys that have less than 20 years that aren't coming out for retirement, they're like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to go to school, or like I'm going to go to school, or I'm doing this or whatever. Their plan's not solid. But you compare that reaction to guys that are actually retiring 100% of the time. Every time I talk to a guy that's retiring, it's like, what are you going to do to enjoy retirement? And they'll look at me like, retirement? I got a fucking job lined up already. I'm going straight back to work.
Yep.
And it's like, I wish more service members had that reality. Like here's a sergeant major who's about to retire after 22 years, and this motherfucker is going back to work.
Yeah,
this is the same mentality. Yeah, and this is the same mentality that you need to have as an E4, E5, E6, or E7 that's not retiring. You need to get your ass back to work.
Yeah, because you're also getting out with a lot less benefits than that sergeant major is too, by the way.
And this is exactly what James brought up. Like Kyle and James talked about, like in our episodes past, like the train doesn't stop fucking moving. Like you get off, that train's still fucking going. Like you need to come up with your own plan, find your own fucking train, and keep moving. So I feel like I've been a dick telling people what to do this entire episode.
No, you're good, bro.
But I mean it.
It's just advice. Take it or don't,
Take it or don't, but I mean it.
You don't have to. But I feel like if you're listening, you're probably, at least at this point, you know who we are. So, we're not, you could take our advice. You can call us idiots too. Again, we don't get enough feedback to know what people really think of the show.
Yeah.
I've only heard good feedback, and that's how I know that we got to be doing something wrong. Because you know what I mean? Like, you can't just get 100%. Nobody's got 100% rotten apples.
Something I'd love to do is that actually like to set up a time where we can actually, maybe during the day, and I can actually walk through how to build a resume, how to interview. Maybe
dude. You
know what I'm saying? Helping vets, like, so they can do some job shit.
Like a little workshop.
Yeah.
We should fucking totally do that.
I mean, we can do it on StreamYard for sure. You can get up to, right now you can get up to, I think 12 people on StreamYard alone, even if we're not doing it live or whatever, but like 12 people in the screen, and then people obviously watching up to it's unlimited. So, I mean,
I can give guys my resume so they can just copy off of that and copy paste it, whatever, and put their stuff in there. And then they can, I can walk them through how to be confident, how to be, how to own an interview. I can give all the coaching. I've been doing it for 7 fucking years now, man.
This is a good one right here. What James said: the hardest lessons are the ones you get from failure. Because, that's the only way you grow is from failing. In the military sense, like you're not going to know how fast you need to be for the PT test unless you fail it, or how many push-ups you need. In the civilian world, you're not going to know. You're not going to know how to do a fucking interview unless you fucking bomb an interview.
Yeah.
You need to bomb at least one to know how to do it right.
Just walk in like, I'm gonna get this fucking job. You know why? Because I'm fucking confident that I'm gonna get this job. I'm gonna be the best fucking. Now you know what, dude? That don't work.
No.
It works once you get the job, but at the same time, like, them people get tired of hearing that shit.
Exactly. That's Thanks, James, for writing that. That's a very fucking great point. Before we wrap up tonight, I really want to invite Justin to come out one more time, just to talk about, those resume building tips. Like I said, if he wants to start his own podcast and piggyback off us, that's great. Like we'll do those how to be successful during transitions. And we
can walk through all the different classes that you need to take as you transition out. We can talk about how to get with the Department of Labor. We can talk about how to resume build. We can talk about how
just make it like a mini series. Technically,
skills. There's so many ways where you can make it so easy, guys. Yeah. I literally got out of the Army on. I started terminal leave for 72 days. On the 17th, 5 days later, I started my new job.
Yeah,
I was getting double dipping on the Army pay plus my new job.
Yeah.
I took a weekend to go watch a Reds game, and they beat the Dodgers actually that weekend. That was in 2019. That was a great year.
Yeah, I'll definitely get offline with you about that.
Yeah, I was going to say we should definitely talk a little more offline because you got my wheels spinning now too. Like it didn't earlier just because we hadn't had any traction yet. Now it's like I know I've talked to 3 people in the last week who are retiring in this year alone. An NCO we had when we were privates is getting out in like 5 weeks.
Hey, let's shout him out, dude.
Gary Mack, dude. Thank you so fucking much for your inspiration. Dude, he gave us the nod earlier this week.
Hands down.
His favorite. His kind of blessing it meant a lot to both of us. So we really appreciate that, brother. We looked up to you as privates. You were firm but fair as an NCO for sure.
And hanger, dude.
And always willing to teach if you wanted to learn ultimately. But if you didn't want to, he would fuck your shit up.
Yeah. He was that badass.
He smoked the shit out of me, dude. I was late. I was like brand new private late, and he was like, I'm gonna make a fucking example out of this dude. And I'm like, yep.
My guy was Staff Sergeant Sergio Felix. That dude fucked me up and left, right, north, south, east, west. That dude, up and down. I couldn't do anything right. Even when I did good, it was bad.
Hell yeah. We're excited. Yeah, we're excited to have him on. Like that's tough fucking NCO, but he was, God, I can't imagine replacing a character like him. He was great. For all our listeners out there, if you again, that letter to me challenge is open. It's never ending. If you want to reach out to us and send us your letter, you can send it to our Facebook page, Veteran Chat Project, Instagram veteran_chat_project, or TikTok Veteran Chat Project. You'll find us there too. Please feel free to send us any emails, any communication. If you want to get on the show, veteranchatproject@gmail.com is that email you want to send it to. And after probably like the last 20 minutes after talking with Barton real quick, I think that's something we're going to decide to do probably for the near future. Getting him on a little bit more just to talk about the transition piece, because me and Kyle stand behind that. As former leaders, we stand behind that fact. Like, I'm not going to ask you to do anything that I've never done before. I had a shitty transition, so I'm not going to tell you about how to do a successful one. Barton had a great one. So whoever better to tell you how to have a great one, or how to be successful.
All I can offer is profile. All I can offer is like bad examples of what not to do. Well, good examples of what not to do. Yeah. But ultimately, too, back to my letter to me, like all those bad choices ultimately led to a fucking dude. I could have never imagined my life being this happy, dude. I'm like, I wish I could say why right now, but I'm just so fucking
Yeah,
happy right now, dude.
Let's hurry up and cut off so I can say something.
Yeah. All right. Good night, everybody. Thank you guys so much for coming in. As always, these will go up on Buzzsprout. And don't forget, you can always watch us on YouTube. Love you guys. Peace.